So are the questions visible? See the first question.
Yes, sir.
Earn while you learn scheme needs to be strengthened to make vocational education and skill training meaningful. So very recent question. So probably a question directly on government scheme, very rare, right? So Earn while you learn is a famous scheme which is picking up in the recent past. So yeah, give the framework for the first question. Give the framework. So by the way, yesterday who were the people whose answers were read? Just let me see today who has submitted the answers. Yesterday whose answers did I read? Five questions. Someone just give me yesterday's names. I think Prashanti, Venkateshwari I have done. Vasu I have done. Anyone please? Names of people. Prashanti, Venkateshwari. Who else? Anil. Okay, and then Anil is then Indu I have done Indu yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Indu, Prashanti, Venkateshwari, Anil. Okay. 4. Who is the fifth one? Raghuram. Okay. Okay. Raghuram. Soumya, Vasavi, Jitendra, Sriram, and Aravind. Okay. Today I'll be doing Arvind, Soumya, Vasavi, Jitendra, and Sriram. Okay. Fine. Yeah, please. Now concentrate on the first question. What is the framework? Jitendra, you have written something. Intro, features or benefits of the scheme needs to be strengthened, and conclusion. Okay. Let me see your answer only.
Sir, that yesterday.
Yesterday's, right?
Yes.
Okay. What will be the model answer for this? As Jitendra said, first you have to mention about the scheme. Okay. Which government ministry is implementing the scheme? Anyone? Tourism, Ministry of Tourism. So you can start off by introducing how this scheme has been introduced by the Ministry of Tourism and what are the basic objectives of this scheme. Okay. It is mainly to give the training to the people in tourism industry. Okay. And also make them experience the working while they are studying. Okay. Then you can write some advantages of the scheme or the key aspects of the scheme. Okay. Basically what it will do, when you earn while you learn, you are able to meet your expenses, and then the probability of dropouts is less. Okay. And you are getting exposed to the real-time working culture. So it is a kind of transition from academics to industry. Okay. And then you can understand how the business scenario works. Okay. And then being in a large setup of working culture will make you experience certain aspects of organization and how to behave with colleagues, your peers, bosses. So basically, you will know how the organizations or the working culture looks like. Okay, and then also, instead of wasting your time, you will be doing some productive work by working or earning while learning. So those are a kind of positive aspects. Okay, then what would be the drawbacks or the lacunae in the scheme? So how we can further strengthen it? Okay, and what is the need for strengthening it? Okay, you can write what are the other aspects of the scheme. Okay, we should ensure that the focus from learning is not taken away. Okay, ultimately, because when you are earning while learning, once you see the money, there is a high chance that you tend to drift away from the education. Okay, and then what is vocational education? Basically, vocational education means it is like a specific skill set. Okay, like carpentry is a vocational education. So everyone should have freedom to pursue their passion. At the same time, the focus should be on the learning. Okay, and the focus should be on the skill training. As the demand of the question is, the focus should be on the skill training. For example, if tourism sector requires certain skill set, that skill set should be imparted. And similarly about other vocations. Okay, and then it should be accessible to everyone, all the youth of the country. Okay, all the youth of the country should have access to such schemes, and thereby which can be useful to empower the youth. Okay, and you can conclude that this is a very progressive and good scheme. The need of the hour is to make more such schemes which can actually help us in realizing the demographic dividend of India by putting proper use the energies of the youth, and also help them in deciding as to what path in career they want to take. Is the approach and content clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, introduction is good. This generally Benjamin Franklin, the quote is good. Jitendra, try to put it in conclusion. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because introduction should straight away drive the examiner into the core demand of the question. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. You can write few more advantages as we discussed, Jitendra.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, sure, you can write those. Vasavi, you can write them as well. Okay, good conclusion, Jitendra. You can write that Benjamin Franklin quote in the conclusion, and then it will become much more beautiful. Okay.
Yes, sir. I'll make sure.
Okay, good answer. Okay, now see the second question. NEP 2020 is in conformity with Sustainable Development Goal 4. It is intended to restructure and reorient the education system in India. Critically examine the statement. Yeah, please. What would be the framework of this question? Answer. Critically examine. See the tagline, critically examine. basically write about the positives of NEP, drawbacks or the lacunae of the NEP, and then conclude on a positive note. Okay, is the framework of the answer clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because it's critically examined. Soumya, you have written only third one. Then Sriram. Sriram, you have written second answer.
Yes.
Okay. Who else was there? Arvind. Okay, I'll do the last question. Sriram, you have written fifth one, Sriram?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. I'll do fifth one for you because fifth, I think no one has written. Okay, fine. So basically NEP, its important features, the positives of NEP and the drawbacks or lacunae in NEP, and then conclude. So that is the framework. So basically you can introduce by saying that NEP 2020 is much awaited, okay, is a much awaited educational policy reform, because after 1984 it is happening now. So 36 years, after 36 years the education policy was changed, and NEP so is a much awaited educational reform, okay, which envisages India to become an education hub and also to tap the demographic dividend of the country. So you can start like that, okay, by overhauling the education system, and then you can straight away come to the come to the positive aspects of the NEP. So what are the various positive issues of the NEP? Okay, 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. Remember that? It basically
Yes, sir.
systematically for the primary and the secondary education, it categorizes the number of years where the child has to stay in certain particular phase of education. So the emphasis is on 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, which is clearly based on the learning abilities and the development of the child. Okay, so that is a very good way of projecting up to 15 years. And then you can talk about how the higher education is almost being overhauled, like many universities are being asked to become multidisciplinary by 2040. In fact, there was a very good article in Hindu yesterday. I don't know how many of you read. The multidisciplinary of becoming of many universities also is a kind of issue. That is what the article says. Okay, and then it asks the government to spend around close to 6% of the GDP on education. Okay, and then it imposes the primary education to be on the mother tongue. Okay, basically whenever the child is comfortable, in the mother tongue. So it says wherever possible the child has to get the primary education in the mother tongue. Okay, and then you can write these as positive, and then the gross enrollment ratio with regard to higher education by 2035 is expected to be around 50 to 60% in the higher education. Okay, so all these are the targets set by the national education policy. Okay, so these are the positive aspects of national education policy. So what are the lacunae? One is the language issue. Okay, the language issue was a big controversy, which was of course later withdrawn. So the language of Hindi was a controversy. You can write that, and then it was withdrawn later. Okay, and then national education is pushing a lot on the digital education. Okay, digital India, but at the same time, the access to the digital resources in the rural areas, which we popularly called as digital divide, is not exactly addressed. So the national education policy should take into account the digital divide also, because even during pandemic, we have seen how people from rural areas have suffered the impact of digital divide. Okay, and then the education policy and invitation to foreign university and all is there, but how to actually implement certain gray areas, like how to bring the foreign universities and all, the national education policy is a little bit silent on that. Okay, and also how to develop the faculty right from the primary education to the higher education, how to bring in proper faculties and teachers, and how to improve their skill sets. This is also an area to be concerned. So these are the lacunae, and then you can conclude saying that yes, NEP is a very progressive and a right step in the direction of implementing the SDG 4. Okay, and if it is implemented in the toto or in the holistic way, it can definitely transform the education system of India for better outcomes, and also and to enable the better usage or envisage the better utility of the demographic dividend. Okay, youth education, their skill set and the demographic dividend are all related. So whenever you want to write about education, okay, or women empowerment or youth empowerment, try to bring in this area of demographic dividend, because India is going to have demographic dividend up to 2040, 2045. So still we have around 20-25 years of time to actually make an impact on the world stage with regard to our demographic dividend. Okay, so only thing is we should not end up it as a demographic disaster. Okay, so that is it. Clear?
Yes, sir.
I think it's Arvind's paper, right? 1986, yeah. Okay. You can directly hit the nail. You can talk about how NEP 2020 focuses. Okay. In the first line itself, don't use shortcut, Arvind. Write national education policy in complete.
Yes, sir.
In bracket, you write NEP, and then thereafter you can use NEP. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, traditional knowledge and modern knowledge, good. Vocational education, yes. I missed this point. Vocational education also, it has a lot of emphasis, and you can write about how degree program can be exited at first, second, third year. Okay, and people can choose their own vocational trainings. You can write that. Okay, knowledge economy, good. Open doors for foreign university, mother tongue based primary education. Good points. Certain drawbacks, yeah, good word. Drawbacks, lacunae, because it's a government scheme. Don't say that failures and all. Okay, yes, digital divide is not addressed. Anganwadi centers, yeah, there is no proper focus or thrust on the implementation of RTE, right to education. Very good. Okay, teachers credibility. Instead of teachers credibility, you can write about concerned about the teacher skill set. Okay, please make sure.
Okay, sir.
Teacher skill set or teachers upgradation. So those are the better words which you can use in the answer. And then in the conclusion, try to bring, okay, in the introduction, you have tried to bring about the SDG 4, but ideally you should bring it in the conclusion and talk about how it is going to improve our demographic dividend and etc. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. On a whole, it's a decent answer. How is this red mark coming here? Okay. How do digital initiatives in India contributed to the functioning of education system in the country? Elaborate your answer. So this question is with regard to the COVID. Okay, COVID year. What is the framework?
Sir, we already done this question. Sir.
You have done it, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
In
sir.
society.
Okay, good. In society, we have done, yes. Digital initiatives in India contributed to the functioning of education system. Anyhow, just we'll discuss 5 minutes again for revision. What would be the framework? Framework.
Intro, benefits of digital education. Next, drawbacks of digital education. Conclusion.
Okay. Yeah, good. You can straight away do that. How do digital initiatives? Yes. Intro, you can bring COVID pandemic angle. Whose answers is this? Soumya. You can bring the COVID pandemic angle. Yes, Soumya, good. And then how the COVID pandemic has actually forced us to move towards digital initiatives with regard to the education. Okay. Then advantages, yes, flexibility, like e-Pathshala, Swayam, virtual labs. Since we have done it, I'm not focusing much on it again. Okay. Swayam integrated platform for online, then you can write MOOCs, massive online programs. Okay. And then cost effective, yes. Okay, inclusivity, yes. Disadvantages, digital divide, a very big issue. Okay, and the social cohesion or the social bonding which is there in a traditional classroom is not there in the virtual classroom. The belongingness sometimes is missing. The concentration levels and the screen time. You can write about the screen time. How much screen time we are spending by seeing these LED, LCD screens, which is impacting our eyes. Okay, so health angle also is involved. Okay, but then you can conclude saying that seems like digital, as we go forward, you can propose a hybrid model, a digital plus traditional classroom. Okay, so that the digital inclusion also is there, as well as the social cohesion and other aspects of the traditional classroom are also maintained. If you see, I heard that in many of the international schools, the notes, the textbooks, workbooks are now not there. The students above 6th grade or 7th grade are directly given tabs. Okay, as the madam is showing the lesson on the projector, these students also get the same lessons in the tab, and they simply by using the stylus, they underline and make points. So it's a traditional classroom with digital initiatives. So it's a kind of hybrid model. Okay, and then they save that file in the tab, come back to home and just revise those files in the tab, and they are able to make that. So many international schools are doing that. So it's already there. Okay. You can write such innovative examples how you can actually combine digital classroom with social traditional classroom. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
See the fourth question. Demographic dividend in India will remain only theoretical unless manpower becomes more educated, aware, skilled, and creative. What measures have been taken by the government to enhance the capacity of our population to be more productive and employable? They are giving a statement and asking you to justify that in line with the measures taken by the government. So you are expected to write the government schemes and some examples. You have to write government schemes and examples which are trying to educate and put awareness, skill training, and also improve creativity. So it was a very, there are some series of famous initiatives in 2015-16, and hence this question was asked. Okay, just give the framework of the answer. Intro government initiatives way forward. Okay. Yeah, agreed, Jitender. So fairly simple question again. So what are the various, you can write about the introduction, okay? You can start introducing with definition of demographic dividend, because the question is revolving around this crucial term. The important term is demographic dividend. And then the second important term is the measures taken by the government. Okay, so demographic dividend, measures taken by the government. If you understand these two key terms, you are able to match them and then write your answer. So introduce the examiner by defining what is demographic dividend. It is basically the potential of the workforce available in the population. Okay, potential of the workforce available in the population. Basically, it is the working population of a nation. And then come to the measures taken by, and you explain how India is in the unique position of supplying workforce to the entire world for next 2.5 decades. Okay, because the average age of India has come down and the population of youth is now significantly higher, close to 40-50% of the total population. Now the India is in much better position to supply the demographic dividend or the workforce to the entire world, because other developed nations like Japan and European nations are aging. Write in 2 or 3 lines crisply about the advantage India has in supplying this labor force to the entire world, and then say that in order to cater to this unique advantage, government has come up with certain schemes or measures. And then what are the famous schemes? When you see the skill, you can immediately remember Pradhanwantari Kaushal Vikas Yojana, National Skilling Mission, okay, and National Skill Development Program, okay, NSDP. And then the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana will allow the many youth to take apprenticeships. Okay, though these are the Skill India mission. Okay, and then with regard to the education, okay, with regard to improving education, we know there is a focus. You can now define the national education policy. Okay, manpower becomes more educated, national education policy. Okay, and then already there are certain measures of free education for poor from 6 to 14 years. Okay, right to education, all these you can mention how. And then the digital India machine, where lot of classes of IITs and other technical institutes are now provided free of cost. Okay, and then awareness. Awareness is basically empowering the youth to know about various government initiatives and also making them in general more competent. And then what are the aspects of creativeness? You can write Startup India, Stand Up India. And then there was this concept called Atal Innovation Machine, AIM. I don't know if some of you remember it or not. Atal Innovation Mission under Niti Aayog. Okay. So all these are important measures which are improving the creativity. Tinkering labs under AIM. Tinkering labs are where you can go and innovative. You can write the example of T Hub in Telangana, where innovation is encouraged, creativity is encouraged. You can make certain examples. Okay, and also you can write about the Digital India Mission. Okay, and then you can say Atmanirbhar Bharat, which is basically going to provide a lot of employment to the educated youth. So all these are very important, and you can say that the demographic dividend is definitely going to be there for next 2.5 decades. While skilling them and making them more creative is one important objective. The much more important objective is to firstly make them employable and then employing them, because employment is the secondary and the main issue which the youth are facing today. So you have to write that skilling them and making them market ready is one aspect. When they are market ready, someone has to absorb them. That aspect you write and conclude saying that we are in a very unique advantageous position in the entire world where we can supply demographic dividend, but the need of the hour is to make the youth employable. And for those youth who are employable, we need to create sufficient employment opportunities, where again the government has to bring in the private partnerships, along with it also being the crucial holder in creation of the jobs. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Whose answers are this? How is that red mark coming? Can someone remove it? Whose answers are this? No name. Vasvi, how come no name? Okay, good start. Good start to your introduction. National Skill Development Corporation, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, Yuva Yojana, Skill India Mission, Saath of yes, yes, good. Inspire Swayam MOOC. You have written so much content, Vasavi, but you need to have one thing is you have written a lot of content, no doubt, and the content is relevant, no doubt about the content also. But the organization of the answer is very important, as we discussed. Try to organize the answer in a particular way. Okay, then only it will bring good clarity to the examiner about what you have written. So, whose answers are this? Whose answer is this?
Mine, sir. Sriram.
Sriram. Okay. Just seeing your fourth answer. See, Vasavi, what points you made, Sriram did not make so many points also. He has made maybe 70 to 80% of the points you have made. But the only advantage what his answer is carrying is the organizing part. Okay. You have made much more points. Okay. But Sriram has made 80% of the points you made, but he could still organize the answer in a way which is more appealing and which is more directly readable to the examiner. I hope you are understanding. Okay. I am just making comparison so that you will understand how to present. See, I am seeing his answer right now in the classroom, but just by skimming through the 2 pages, I understood what he wrote because I know the content and I have seen that content. Okay, he has made content. I have understood that you also have written content, but the content should be properly presented. Did you understand? If you can present in the similar way, your answer will have more marks because your answer is having more content and more information with regard to the government schemes. Okay. And you did not conclude. Always have a proper conclusion because that itself also will carry certain marks. Okay. Clear, Vasavi? Good. Okay, see the last question. The quality of higher education in India requires major improvements to make it internationally competitive. Do you think the entry of foreign educational institutions would help improve the quality of technical and higher education in the country? Though it is a 2015 question, even now it is in debate and still relevant. Very recently also, there was an article in Hindu regarding this particular topic. So some topics are relevant. So just see the question and give the framework.
Intro, drawbacks of the present higher education system in India. Next, introduction of foreign education benefits, methods for the improving indigenous institutions, conclusion.
Okay. So by bringing in foreign education, do you think the entry of foreign institutions would help improve the quality of technical and higher education? So obviously, I think most of you will say yes to the question that bringing in foreign education institutions, but then not only bringing the foreign education institutions, there are certain important things to make them function. That is important. So, okay, I agree with the pattern or the framework which you have given. Give some basic introduction. Is this a 150 word or a 250 word, Sriram?
We have to check, sir. 1 minute, I'll tell. It's a 12.5 marker, sir.
Okay, 2015, right? So, okay,
Yes,
let's
sir.
take it as a 250 word. 12.5 is 200 words question. So you can take it to, yeah, you can take it to 250 words only. Okay. So in that regard, so what you can do is you can give the introduction since it's a essay type answer, you can write some lacunae about the present higher education system in India. And if foreign education system comes, how it would improve. And then you add a dimension, what should be done to make the foreign education sustain. And then what should be done to make the present higher education system better. And then conclude saying that when the both come, there will be mutual harmony and then it will go forward. Did you understand the framework?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
So the first will be the introduction part. You will say that you can introduce with the stat of gross enrollment ratio less than 25% in higher education. Okay. And then which has direct impact on the overall literacy of the nation and the employability of the youth and also the demographic dividend. Hence, the need of the hour is to strengthen the higher education system to make it more inclusive and more affordable to all the sections of Indian society. You can say something like that. The issues with the present higher education system in India. So what are the major issues? Issues with the present higher education system in India.
Student
Basically,
participation is low, poor
there is
infrastructure.
too much of hand holding by the government. No proper autonomy. Yes, that is one major complaint. No proper autonomy. Lot of dropouts. Okay, not accessible to all sections and all classes of the society. Okay, predominantly dominated by the private sector. Okay, and many engineering colleges or medicine colleges do not have proper infrastructure, and then lack of trained faculties, professors, associate professors. Many of them are much desired in their qualification. So these are the major issues. And you can also write some places it is outdated curriculum, no focus on the industry orientation. All these are present lacunae with the present Indian higher education system. Yes. Even there is no proper emphasis on the research. There is no emphasis on the number of PhDs in India are decreasing. All these are issues with the present higher education system. Then how the foreign education institutions would help the quality of technical and higher education. So foreign education and advantages, you can write something like that. Okay, what happens when foreign universities come? They bring a cultural shift in the education system. They bring the latest technology. Yes, technology transfer. They bring the latest technology into the Indian system. They bring the latest academic case studies and practices. For example, if Oxford University is coming to India, it's a very pride moment, right? They'll bring they have so much of research articles and case studies, and that are transferred. They bring one of the best infrastructures. There is a lot of emphasis on research, and the Indian students are now put at the global level. Okay, and opportunities post education, they tend to have global opportunities. The quality of faculty is very good when the global universities come into picture, and you can have memorandum of understandings between Indian universities and the foreign universities, so that the best quality of education is provided to the youth of India. So these are the aspects of foreign universities. So what should be done? The next heading is need for foreign universities to sustain. How can foreign universities sustain in India? One is, if you have this hand-holding mechanism like you do for government universities in India, the foreign universities are not going to come to India. That is one major complaint or apprehension even today the foreign universities have. Okay, so you should give them complete autonomy with regard to the education. Okay, and then one drawback of foreign universities can be they can be really high priced and they may not be accessible to all sections of society or everyone who is willing to study there. Okay, and then one is the autonomy, one is the curriculum. They should able to have their own curriculum. Okay, and then the entrance to those foreign universities shall be based on merit, and also finally government should ensure that proper hand-holding with regard to the establishment of these universities is done. Only then they can sustain. Okay, and then you can write, while improving foreign universities is good, while bringing foreign universities is good, what shall be done in the present Indian university setup or the education setup. So basically you have to again empower or give more autonomy to higher education institutions like IITs and IIMs. They need to have more autonomy. Okay, they should be having continuous funding through schemes like HEFA or other schemes. Continuous funding should be there. And what else? They should have continuous funding. The research facilities should be upgraded. More centers of excellence should be established. Okay, the quality of faculty in these institutes should be periodically upgraded. So all these are important points in sustaining and improving the education system of India. So you can write that in the recent quality rankings, it is really good to see that 27 of Indian institutions are in top 1000 of the world. And some of the institutions like IISc and IIT Bombay, Madras are making it into top 300, 400. While the need of the hour is to see that more and more education institutions of India feature in the top 100 of the world. At the same time, bring in the foreign universities into India by giving them proper autonomy and proper resources so that the entire education system gets benefited, which will in turn benefit the youth of India and help in reaping the demographic dividend of the country. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So Sri Ram. Good. For this, you have to label the diagram, Sriram.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I forward.
Slightly, you need to expand. You have written the advantages, but one or two words, slightly you have to expand. Increase in the number of seats. Okay. Good funding and expertise. They bring a lot of funding and expertise with regard to the faculties and all. Like that, try to write a proper sentence instead of one or two words. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Better methods of learning outcomes. Okay. Greater global exposure. So see, you, as you have written the 6th point, you have to write remaining 5 points also. 6th point makes a complete sense, right? So you are
Yes, sir.
giving the complete meaning of what good opportunities are meaning. Okay, can reduce brain drain and migration from India, collaboration, knowledge transfers to local institutions. So good points with regard to the advantages of foreign universities. So you missed the dimension, what needs to be done to sustain them. Okay, you write what needs to be done to sustain them. Clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Instead of giving all the points at one place, try to give similar diagram what you have done, so that it will look that, okay, for bringing empowerment to Indian education institutions, you are giving so many measures to be taken. Okay, you have written facilities,
Okay,
funding,
sir.
revamping curriculum, pedagogy, teaching methods. So you have made 4 or 5 points, but the problem is it is just looking like single sentence. So try to make that answer unique by giving that, you draw one more diagram, measures to make Indian universities or Indian institutes better, more funding, like that you can give one more diagram. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Conclusion can be slightly better, Sriram. Okay.
Yes, sir.
No one is saying we have to solely depend on foreign universities. You can say that along with Indian universities, bringing, as I told you, right, my conclusion, if you can like, you can put it. Okay, like bringing foreign universities and then making them sustainable, also improving the condition of Indian universities is much better and a holistic measure to improve the education system in India to ride the demographic dividend. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So good. The answer is good, obviously. So I can see that you people are writing good answers. Okay, day by day. And these are all difficult topics. Don't think, these are bread and butter and oh, I am able to write the answer. So you are writing good answers for difficult questions. So at the same time, okay, from this statement, don't get complacent. Okay, don't get complacent and say that, okay, fine, now that we are writing good answers for difficult questions, for easy questions we'll write like anything. Don't go into the complacent mode. It's a good progress. Okay, good habits you people are inculcating. Writing answers daily, 5 answers daily is not a joke. I am telling you on record, writing 5 answers daily is not a joke. Some of you are writing by reading the questions or reading the answers from somewhere and then trying to write on your own. Even that is acceptable, but slowly but surely stop doing it. Okay, and write your own answers. Then now you are writing very good answers. Some of you may be doing that very long and getting the quality, but some of you might be just reading before writing the answers and writing the answer. That is very much possible because the material is being shared by the Ramana sir. So you might be reading the material or seeing the Google, just studying the answers before attempting the questions and writing them. So the quality obviously is good. What happens when you stop doing that and write the answers on your own? The quality will suddenly dip. Don't worry. It's like, because you have to be fair to yourself. The quality will dip and then slowly improve, and from there it will sustain. First is, now you are used to writing. Okay, seeing or without seeing is a different thing. Next, you will write without seeing. Second stage, there your quality will dip. I am sure I cannot expect this quality of answers from everyone. Maybe 1 or 2 will write, but the answer quality will dip. Sure. Then it will slowly pick up, because then you will struggle. In that struggle, you will realize that you have to make better answers, and then it will come. Okay. If you ask me in our economic language, it's like a V-shaped recovery. During COVID, they were talking, right? It's like a V-shaped recovery. You will fall down, you will come up, and then from there it will sustain. That experience is permanent. Okay, go through that experience, start doing that. If some of you are writing the answers just before exam, reading the content and writing the answers, slowly stop it and do random answers. Then your quality will dip. I am sure your quality will dip. Okay, and then after that it will increase and then sustain. So that metamorphosis of dipping, increasing, and then sustaining, and then when you sustain, from there you will make brilliant answers. So from there, the answers are only about the value addition and the other parts, as I say, right? Once you write very good answers, the focus should be on presentation and then value addition, examples, bringing case studies, World Bank, UN schemes or India schemes, sustainable development goals. So you will go to the next level there. So it's a very big process. Okay, So it's like, becoming butterfly from caterpillar. So we are not even in the stage of coming to caterpillar. Okay. So we have still a long way to go till butterfly. We'll all do it together. Don't worry, but keep doing it. Okay. I hope
Yes, sir.
I hope I'm making sense.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So just have patience. Okay. When the day comes when your quality dips, don't give up. Oh, okay. So don't give up. Just hold on, and it's in matter of 2 to 3 months. This transformation, when you undergo, you will feel very happy about yourself. Okay. Fine. On that note, we'll just log out and then good night.